hope you're well. I've just finished PE with Joe. If you haven't tried it, give it a try. It's good fun. I'm a bit worn out, so I thought I'd come and sit down and have a little bit of a read. Chapter 5, After Dark. Coco had never been into the copse before, but she knew about it. She had been to the bottom of the garden and peered at it through the gap under the old wooden gate. All she could see was a swathe of long wild grass and a few tree trunks, none of which was very interesting for a comfort-loving guinea pig such as Coco. If it had been a feather-down duvet, like they had at the palace, or better still, a pile of fresh hay, she would have rushed out there long before now. But she knew that tonight she would have to go. Midnight at the copse. It seemed an odd time and place to meet her internet contact. But then she also knew that different guinea pigs have different habits. Guinea pigs in South America got up late because it was hot. Guinea pigs in Africa got up early because it was cool. And guinea pigs in Soho were up all night clubbing. Maybe, she thought vaguely, this internet guinea pig, Renard, was the clubbing type. Midnight was awfully late though. Coco normally went to bed at 8 so that she got plenty of beauty sleep. Tonight she had to keep herself awake. Watching Ben and Henrietta helped a bit. Ben had come home from the animal rescue centre shaking his head. After dinner he and Henrietta had made missing notices on the computer. One of the notices had drifted down in front of the hutch. Coco saw a picture of Fuzzy staring out of it and the words, "Have you seen this guinea pig?" written underneath. If only, she thought, if only she could tell Ben and Henrietta where he really was. Ben and Henrietta snatched up the notice and disappeared out of the front door with piles of others to put on nearby lampposts. Sadly, Coco got on with doing her nails and her hair, combing each strand through 100 times to make it shiny. By the time the Blisses got back, ate their dinner and did their dance practice, it was 11:30. Just when Coco was beginning to worry that they would be up all night, they went to bed. As soon as she heard their bedroom door close, Coco was out of the hutch in a flash. Quietly she pushed open the cat flap and wriggled out. She rushed down the garden, scooted under the gate, and was already in the copse when she realised that she had no idea where the old oak tree was. She should have asked Banoffee if she knew, but then Banoffee hadn't had many opportunities to travel because she'd been busy having babies most of her life. A little mouse scurried past. "Excuse one," said Coco politely, "but could one show one oak tree?" The mouse didn't answer. Perhaps, thought Coco, he didn't understand the Queen's English. "Oi!" she hollowed after him. "You! Mouse! Where's the old oak tree?" The mouse barely paused. "Don't stop! Don't stop!" it squeaked breathlessly, its whiskers twitching. "No time!" "There's always time," Coco said stiffly, "for good manners. It's one of the Queen's golden rules." The mouse stared at her, dumbstruck. "I believe the oak has squiggly leaves," she said more kindly. The mouse, like Fuzzy, didn't seem very bright. "Over there," squeaked the mouse, waving his paw. "If you must go, you can't miss it. It's the first tree you come to. Hurry, though, hurry." He dived into an old shoe that lay on the grass. Coco looked round. There, sure enough, only a few metres away, was a large tree. Although the moon was bright, she couldn't actually see if the tree had squiggly leaves because they were so high up and she was so low down and short-sighted. But it was definitely the nearest one in sight, so if the mouse was right, it must be the oak. She trotted up to the tree, found a clean hollow, and sat down with her back against the trunk, wondering what all the fuss was about. She didn't need to hurry, she'd had plenty of time. Her new guinea pig friend Renard hadn't arrived yet. There was no sign of him. He was probably still out clubbing, she decided. She waited a few minutes. Nothing. She looked round. Nothing. She peered behind her and from side to side. Nothing. No, wait. Coco turned her head again to the right and squinted through her long eyelashes. There was something glinting in the long grass. No, not something glinting. 2 things glinting. They moved towards her slowly like torches. The grass swayed from side to side. For a minute she wondered if the Blisses had changed their minds about going to bed and had come into the copse to look for Fuzzy. But only for a minute. Coco gulped. Her new friend trotted towards her. It was very large and very orange, with 4 thin legs and a long bushy tail. It didn't look much like a guinea pig. "What big eyes you have," Coco said faintly, her knees knocking. "All the better to read emails with," the creature said in a very low voice. "What a deep voice you have," Coco whispered, trembling. "All the better to talk to silly little guinea pigs like you with," it smiled. Coco decided not to mention its teeth, which were pointed and white and sharp-looking. She realised she had made a terrible mistake. The mouse had been trying to warn her. The creature turned on her. His green eyes gleamed. The white tip of his tail twitched. He towered above her, licking his lips. Coco screamed, but in a delicate way, like the Queen screams if one of her grandchildren picks its nose. "Didn't tell anyone?" The fox smiled nastily. "Didn't anyone tell you? You should never talk to strangers on the internet." He reached out a paw to grab her. Fuzzy had told her, but she'd ignored him. "One was in a flap," she sobbed, feeling the fox's sharp claws prick her fur. "I needed to find Fuzzy. He's in danger. I had to get to him in time." "Time?" the fox sneered. "You don't have a lot of that left." He lowered his head towards her and opened his huge jaws. "I know the Queen," Coco squeaked. "I used to live at Buckingham Palace." The fox laughed. Coco shrunk back. His breath stank like a skunk's bottom. "I demand that you unpaw me immediately," she squealed desperately. The fox gripped tighter. Coco said a short prayer. "If I'm to be anyone's dinner," she muttered, "at least let it be someone who knows how to use a knife and fork properly." Suddenly there was a shout from below. A blur of black fur sprinkled with silver shot out from under the tree trunk and somersaulted onto the fox's back. The fox twisted and turned, trying to see what was happening. "A jump, señorita!" a voice called. "Salta, vamos!" Coco sank her teeth into the fox's leg. She felt the fox's grip loosen. She wriggled and scratched, trying to get herself free. Eventually, with a snarl of anger, the fox let go. The last thing Coco remembered was falling through the darkness onto a bed of squiggly leaves.